too much Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle drops his first career postseason triple-double. And how about Rudy Gobert, as he fell, protecting the rim in that fourth quarter, and the T-Wolves walk out of here with a dub.
Oh, Bronte, I got to take a deep breath after that game. That was an ugly offensive game on both ends. And that was actually advantage Warriors because they did a great job mucking up the game, making the Timberwolves play slower. They had 0 three-pointers, the Warriors did. No three-pointers in the first half, and they were up 2 points. That just shows that they were just really, like the defense was really on tight on Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle. I just thought the offense flow of the game was Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle versus Jonathan Kuminga and Jimmy Butler. Everybody else just get out the way. And that's not how the Warriors play offense. So they got to find a way to get the offense flowing because in the fourth quarter, Anthony Edwards came alive, the role players for the Timberwolves came alive, and Julius Randle, triple-double, big game for him.
What's so sad and tough about this loss for the Warriors is that all the things that you wanted to change happened. Jimmy Butler woke up, had that 36-point game or 33-point game that you wanted. You saw him contributing 7 assists, 7 rebounds, exactly what you wanted. What else? JK, he has the game that you always wanted out of him throughout the playoffs. He has this tremendous showing up. You see them, the Warriors, not lose the battle in the paint, 48-46. You see the Warriors being able to keep the Timberwolves to under 30 assists. I mean, all the things you wanted happened, but it wasn't enough because they didn't have enough production out of their role players, and mainly because that offense didn't produce enough for them. It was tough to see, and now we got to look back at the scoreboard and look at the game plan for Game 4.
Yeah, I thought the Warriors did a great job keeping it close. They got down 9 in the first half, but, got right back in and led by 1 at halftime. I mean, look at these stats. Very similar to Game 1, where both teams struggled from the field. The T-Wolves go 36 of 82. The Warriors go 35 of 81. They both go 17 of 21 from the free throw line, but the three-point makes, plus 15 for the T-Wolves. Most of them by Anthony Edwards, some big clutch shots by him. But I give the Warriors a lot of credit for mucking the game up, making it a kind of disaster, but too predictable offensively. They had 21 assists. Yep. And look, with Steph Curry not in the lineup, you've got to do some unconventional things. As you said, Jimmy Butler had big numbers. Jonathan Kuminga had big numbers. Buddy Hield chipped in. A lot of other guys kind of out there just spacing. And I thought you said it, Fezzi. We were down there watching. It was Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards versus Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga. And neither team really got going offensively. But I think the fact that the Wolves have their starting unit healthy was the big difference.
And Draymond Green fouls out in this one in the fourth quarter. Was a non-factor in game number 3. But the Warriors, as we mentioned, had a lead going into the fourth quarter, 73-69. But we pick up the fourth quarter tape, and this was high-level basketball here in the fourth. Anthony Edwards just has some nasty finishes. That was a nice little finish right there with the right. He dunked all over Kevon Looney there. But Looney plays some solid minutes off the bench. But Anthony Edwards, once he sees that ball going to hoop, then he takes his game outside. You saw him hit the 3 there. Tough finish right there. That was Draymond Green's 6th and final foul. What do you think, Fezzi?
Tough way to get out of the game right here. Draymond, I mean, this is a play. It could have gone either way, Bonte. It's just one of those games where there's fouls being called left and right. And tough way to get out the game. I know he wanted to be out there in the fourth.
And there's Jaden McDaniels with a clutch 3 there. Zena to give the T-Wolves a 6-point lead. But Warriors down 4. Good hands there by Anthony Edwards. Julius Randle running the break. Takes his time, finds Rudy Gobert.
Bailed him out right there. Julius Randle had nowhere to go, and he just finds a cutting and running Rudy Gobert.
What did we say at the top of this game? It's not just Julius Randle finding his points. It's Julius Randle finding his teammates. Yep. He consistently found opportunities, gets his first triple-double of his playoff career. This is exactly why he is such a threat for Minnesota, because even if he can't find buckets for himself, which he had no problem with tonight, he can find them for his teammates.
Bully, 23 assists over the last 2 nights for Julius Randle.
Yeah, this is a ISO-heavy team in the regular season and in the playoffs. But I think they're doing a good job. Randle's doing a good job of baiting the double team and moving the ball when he needs to, but he's also being aggressive on those one-on-one coverages. And, during the regular season, the Warriors averaged 29 assists. They had 21. And this is not a team, they're probably in the NBA in assists. They had 28 assists tonight. So they're getting both, to your point, Zena. You know, with Randall, we said pregame, if he's going to score, take away his assist game, keep him off the free throw line. He's really clicking on all cylinders now.
Point of attack defense, Fezzi, not there for the Golden State Warriors as Minnesota continues to drive and kick to wide open three-point shooters.
I would say it wasn't there because they held the Minnesota Timberwolves to 102 points. They did a great job, even up until the fourth. They won the second, the third quarters. They tied the first. The Warriors were doing a great job defensively on all their guys. Turnovers really hurt them tonight. Those 15 turnovers, at least 7 of those turnovers were unforced. Just bad passes. Some of them, Draymond had 5 turnovers tonight. A lot of those he wishes he can get back because some of those were just unforced. And with that being the case, I think you're taking away your offensive flow in the game where you already don't have any offensive rhythm. You're taking away those flows, taking away those possessions. And the Warriors were just trying to fight their way back into a game and fight themselves because they were beating themselves with the turnovers.
It's one thing to have turnovers, but then it's another thing to have turnovers that the other team capitalizes on. You look at the halftime, Timberwolves had 1 more turnover than the Warriors, but the Warriors had already given up 14 points, which was 4 more points than the Timberwolves were able to give up from there. So you're seeing a team capitalize on it. The athleticism, the Minnesotas, they were just running the other way, and you don't really have a defense that goes against that.
I just see here the Warriors, they make 2 threes at the end because they went up with 10. They must have made, but they shot as well from 3 as they did from 2. So and I think you mentioned his pregame, Zena. There's a whole lot of area in between the three-point shot and all the way to the rim. Now, you get all the way to the rim. Rudy Gobert, if nothing else, he does contest shots. He doesn't always block them, but he makes them tough. So the fact that they're shooting similar percentages from 3, where, you know, both teams are kind of getting open looks from the three-point range, the Warriors should maybe investigate that pull-up jumper, that mid-range that you talk about with Paz. Paz goes 1 for 10. Now, you know, you have to look at the tape, but I'm going to assume there's a lot of shots in that mid-range, which you're better. I'd rather take an open 13-footer than a contested layup.
Yeah, don't go all the way down. Rudy is going on that pick and roll. He is dropping all the way back just to do his job, which is protect the rim. Pull up. Little push shot. We saw Isaiah Hartenstein get it towards the beginning of that game in OKC. Yeah.
And we saw after game 1, in game 2, Rudy was out on Draymond. So you make shots, the defense is going to have to adjust.
So, Fezzi, it sounds like they need better offense in this series. They've yet to crack 100 against Minnesota.
Well, they wouldn't have had a chance without the defense. They had a chance to win this game. And here's one thing I'll say. This team looks way different than the Warriors do without Steph Curry. The offense right now, it looks like it's in shambles. They're trying to find a way to get going. Jonathan Kuminga was special tonight, all right? This is a guy who's been sitting on the bench. Back-to-back games. He's been special. He's been sitting on the bench. To be able to come into this game, come into the series, and have the impact he's had so far is really impressive. That's 1. But 2, I'll say the team is trying to find some semblance of trying to replace what Steph brings to the team. There's no point guard on the floor. Jimmy Butler is coming up, and he's just trying to get to his spot, which he did an incredible job of doing that. But they got to have somebody else. I don't care if it's Pat Spencer. I don't care if it's Brandon Pajemski, but somebody else has to handle the ball and get them into the correct set so guys can really know where they're going to be on the floor.
And Draymond Green being in foul trouble all game long hurt as we have Fezzi, Zena, Mully, myself, Bonte Hill, Jimmy Butler. We've been